Hello gamers, welcome back to another episode of Beyond the Emulator. In this episode, I will be sharing my first impressions of the newly released Knulli Scarab on my Trimui Smart Pro, getting things initially set up for further testing, which I will provide the Knulli link below. So what I'm going to do here is let's boot up my previous versions of Knulli as well. Down below over here that's going to join the party is going to be Knulli Scarab. Let's get these booted up. There we go with the Knulli Gladiator. So go ahead and sit back, grab your device and follow along. See if there's something you can adjust to get better gameplay and performance as we are going to be going beyond the emulator. And lastly, if you enjoy these handheld videos, drop a like and maybe subscribe to my page. I've also created a Trimui Retro helpline on Discord if you're interested. Details below again. Thank you and enjoy. Now without keeping you in suspense, let's get started. So, welcome to Knulli. A new release has come into the being. So what I did today, about an hour ago or 4 hours ago, they just released a new version called Knulli Scarab. And what I did was I just located it, downloaded it, and put it on a new SD card, or a formatted SD card, which I put on the right device here. We have not booted it up yet. We've just formatted the card. And I have not put any BIOS, ROMs, or saves on it yet. So what I'm doing is here I'm actually going to show you Knulli Gladiator 2 on the TSP, and then as well as I've got it on the brick. So what we're going to do is we're going to initially boot for the first time Knulli Scarab, which, just really quick to share with you, Knulli Scarab is a major update which brings a ton of new features and quality of life improvements, most notably, and it supports mostly the revised H700 devices of the Amernix RGXX series. It adds supports for the BattleX G350, the GXD Pixel 2, the Mayu Flip, the Pi Kitty X55, the Retro Pocket 5, the Flip 2, and a bunch more, besides the Trimui devices, even the TSP-S. They've updated the Retro Arch to 1.22.2. The standalone Yabo Sashiro was added for better performance for the Sega Saturn emulation, which we'll definitely dig into later. It's got improved syncing integration, allowing you to trigger syncs manually or even automatically on a game exit, while notifications keep you posted about transfer progress. They've got a new Battery Plus, giving you more precise information about your current battery page. There's a new and improved RGB support that's been done. Portmaster can now be installed from the device system settings. And there's a ton of bug fixes and improvements to system stability and performance and battery life. You'd have to look at their changelog. Quite a few list of items. So what we've done is we've refreshed a card over here. So we're going to go ahead and move Knulli Gladiator up to the top. We're going to take the new Knulli Scarab. I've already inserted the card. So just before, what I'm using is a 128 Samsung A2U3 SD card. I'm going to go ahead and boot it up for the initial time, and let's see where it takes us. There we go. We'll go ahead and get this initially set up. Let's bring it in a little bit more. It's going to go ahead and extract and install the software or firmware. And then what we're going to do is, after I've done this, which I did was I actually downloaded it from the link for my particular device, and then I ended up using Rufus as the formatter of the image onto the SD card. And then what I've done is I've taken from my Knulli Gladiator, I've taken a copy of my BIOS and saves, and I'm going to take a small selection of ROMs. And after we've gotten the initial boot set up, I'm going to go ahead and take the SD card back out, add those programs, and then boot it back up again with those files added as well. At this point right now, when we're installing it, we're not able to add any ROM saves or BIOS. So it's going through its firmware update, initially getting it all set up. So we'll know approximately how long it takes for it to boot. There we go. So a couple minutes. There we go. Booted right up with lights and everything. So what we're going to do is we'll go ahead and hit Start menu just real quick, because that's typically what we had before. Looks like everything is basically the same. Let's go ahead and get it set up for network settings. So we'll enable the Wi-Fi. Let's get it connected. We'll go ahead and connect to my Wi-Fi. See how quickly it gets connected. Let's see how it goes. I'm going to go ahead and press the back key. We'll be able to also turn off the music. There we go. Wi-Fi enabled. Let's go ahead and go to our sound settings. Let's go ahead and turn off our front end music. Go ahead and get that out of there. Now what we're going to do is basically go ahead and quit. So then we can go ahead and add our saves, BIOS, and ROMs. So let me go ahead and shut this down. And I'm going to go ahead and put it on pause, add the programs, and then we'll be right back. So we are back. And I've went ahead and added my saves, ROMs, a selected amount of ROMs. I only had so much space on my hard drive on my laptop to go ahead and add a few games. So I was able to transfer some files, so we're going to go ahead and reboot now that we've got games, ROMs, and save states. So some of the save states should be able to hold for some of the games that we push through. I did add some Saturn games. We'll see how that works, but we'll do some quick initial testing and get it set up. We're not going to really get into any basic. We'll get into it deeper on the next video after I played with it some more, but this is the initial first impressions. So we've already got PC Engine. I should be able to, there we go. I've added Devil Crash, Nintendo, Super Nintendo. I've got Earthbound, Nintendo 64, Mario Golf, Game Boy Color, Wario Land 3. I've got a couple of Game Boy Advance games, one Nintendo DS game. Ports need to be set up. I've got some games. These are automatically already defaulted into the firmware. Sega, I added some Pinball and Zombies. Sega Saturn, mostly just Pinball to C. Dreamcast, a RPG game / of sort of Berserk. And PlayStation, a pinball that I've been struggling to get working, and Tekken 3. We'll get some image work and artwork on it shortly. PSP, we've got Ridge Racer and Star Ocean. So then it goes back. So we'll go back to our emulators, and then we go to PC Engine. So if we were going to initially go like the previous Knulli, we'd go ahead and press A, which would give us that sub-menu, which is here. And we can go to Advanced Options. Let's go to Emulators. And you can see the emulator cores that are available, or the auto. So we're just going to leave everything at auto at this moment. Let's go ahead and just boot it up and see where it takes us. Oh, it's missing BIOS, but we're going to go ahead and proceed as well. We've got an overlay already built into it. Nice. We've got a snapshot here. Here we go. Not sure what froze up here for a second. There we go. But imagery is nice. My joysticks don't seem to be flipping well. There we go. Seems to be stuttering really badly. Let's go ahead and what we would typically go with is the quick menu, which is menu and B key. That'll open up the quick menu in RetroArch. You can see actually the version is 1.22.2. They're using the Beetle PCE Fast. So what we're going to do is let's go ahead and close that out. That must be the default. Let's go ahead and just quit this. Bring it back to the game. Go ahead and press our A to get to our menu. Let's go to Advanced Options. Let's just go with the Libretto PCE, not the fast one, which it seems to be defaulting. So we'll go with that. We'll go ahead and fire it up again, see what happens. Yeah, we know about the BIOS. Sounds about right. There we go. See how much better it worked? By changing it, the core definitely has given it the flippers to work just correctly. I think the fast core was making it not function correctly, but look, now it's working. Oops, there we go. So there we go as that example. By just changing that quick core, corrected it. And that was a default, so we corrected the default. So we'll go ahead and just get out of PC Engine. We've got Nintendo DS. We know about 2048, Super Nintendo, Earthbound. Let's go ahead and initially go ahead and press A, like we've done. Let's go to Advanced Game Options. You can see the cores that are here, BSNES, the Mason S, the SNES 9X, and the SES 9X next. So let's go ahead and see what initially it kicks in and see if the game works right off of the auto emulator for Earthbound. There we go with the overlay. Now you could remove that as well by going into the settings. We're not going to initially do that right now. We're just going to do some initial testing. So as you can see, if I go ahead and press menu and B, we're using the SNES 9X, which is what I recommend. So it should work rather well. But look at our screen. There we go. That was just the way how the opening is, but looks really well. We've got the nice overlay here on the side. We'll go with fast. So seems like everything is working fine. We'll come back to this game a little later. Go ahead and do a save state. Saved it correctly. We'll go ahead and get out of this. And again, this is just like Knulli Gladiator in the past. There's just a few things that have been changed on it. Let's go to Nintendo 64. Let's look at their cores that they have to offer. So we're going to scroll down to Advanced Game Options. You can see they've got the Movement 64 Plus next, the Parallel N64, and it looks like they've got two standalones as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to run with the auto again. We're going to actually change the power mode to high performance. We're going to go ahead and hit Nintendo 64 Mario Golf and see what happens. This is a game that's always struggled on the TSP. As you can see, it crashed. So let's go ahead and take a different core. Advanced. We're going to go to Auto. So it might be the Movement 64 Plus next. We're going to go ahead and use a standalone. Let's go ahead and use the Movement 64 Plus Glide 64 MK2. Again, we're going to change it to high performance. We're going to fire it up. You got your side image, but you've got no picture. Completely black. So that's unfortunate for Nintendo Mario Golf right at this point. So we'll have to come back to that at a further date and see what can go on Nintendo 64 well with the new Knulli Scarab. We've got Game Boy Advance or Game Boy Color. We'll go ahead and just preview their options. As you can see, they've got the Gambit, the Meson S, the MGBA, the VBA-M. So most likely it's going to be the Gambit. We'll just go ahead and let it run. Let it boot up. Got a different overlay for Game Boy Color. Looks really good on the screen. And if I press, as you can see, the RetroArch core is Gambit. So everything seems to be working just fine. We'll go ahead and come back out of that game later, so we're going to go ahead and close out of it. Go ahead and quit. And you can make some changes in probably your RetroArch. So we've got Game Boy Advance. Let's go with a Pokemon game. Now typically this would be defaulted to MGBA. So let's go ahead and just kick it in. Again, these are all just initial testing of games that what we'll do is we'll compare them to the Knulli Gladiator, Game Boy Advance. This is a Pokemon hack, War of Masters. I'm going to go ahead and press my menu. As you can see, the core is, again, MGBA, so that was their default. But everything seems to be working just fine. Good image on the screen. So there gives you another example of another platform. We'll go ahead and get out of this. We're going to go over to Nintendo DS. So that one always has some challenging cores. Let's go ahead and see what we have to offer for Ridge Racer. So you can see that it's got the Advanced Drastic and the Melon SDS. So we would definitely want to use the Advanced Drastic. We're going to go ahead and change that to High Performance. Let's go ahead and fire up Ridge Racer DS. And we'll see. BIOS has always been an issue with Knulli Gladiator as well for running NDS, but it seems to be running as fine. So let's see what their menu has to offer. There we go, Advanced Drastic, using their latest version that was created. So if we were going to go here for our stewards, we basically want to change our screen to have just one screen. Here we go, and we could flip that. So we'll leave that as just a one screen and flip it. We'll go ahead and change our options right away. Screen swap, we definitely want to change that to yes. We want to change the show speed to yes. Most everything else we're going to basically keep the same. We've already changed the steward, which is the image. Controls, we don't need to do anything. And sometimes you'll have cheats that are available. So these cheats are already included into it. So by using the L2 button, that's going to be your flip screen. You've got your frame rate up there. So works just perfect. See? And actually it loaded my profile because I had my save state in there. So I'm Pops. I've got 4 cars. So it worked just fine. My save state was actually added into the program. So there we go. We'll go ahead and hit menu and B. I'm going to go ahead and just exit it out right now. Then we're going to move over ports. I need to load up a few more. We'll add that for the next video. Pygame, we still need to add a few options there. We're going to go to Sega Mega Drive. So let's go ahead and hit Zombie Ate My Neighbors. Let's go ahead and look at the cores that they have to offer. We're almost wrapping up this. Advanced, we've got the Genesis Plus GX, the GX Wide, and the Pico core. So we're going to go ahead and go with the Auto. Go ahead and execute that. You've got your overlay here. Game's loaded up, no problem at all. And there we are. No problem at all. Game is working just fine. So, actually what it's using is the Core Genesis Plus GX. So that actually worked out really well. We'll go ahead and quit out of that program. Everything seems to be closing just well. No problems, no hang-ups. We've got Sega Saturn. We'll go ahead and leave that to the end. We've got Dreamcast. We'll go with Swords of the Berserk. We'll see how that goes. Let's go ahead and hit the menu key. Go to Advanced Game Options. You can see it's got the Flycast, which is a standalone, and then the Libretto Course Flycast, Flycast Extreme, and Flycast VL. So what we're going to do is use the standalone. We're going to go ahead and change it to high performance. Let's go ahead and click on Sword of the Berserk. Booted right up to Dreamcast with my BIOS already included. Now I should be able to press menu key and X. That's going to open up my menu for the standalone. A lot of times what I do is recommend is you go right to settings. You're going to have to use your B key. The keys are reversed for enter. So B is your enter. I usually go down here to the scaling. Go ahead and slide that over to about 150. Go ahead and press B again. Go to apply. And see how that makes your screen go up a little bit better. So what you can do is you can also scroll down here, go ahead and hit B for load, and for save, it'll automatically do your save state. We're going to go over to video, press B to go down. As you can see it's the OpenGL or Volcon. You can load custom textures, you can change it to a widescreen. I usually come down here and I am going to go ahead and show the frame counter. I'm going to go ahead and go back up. Go ahead and do make game configuration. Go ahead and press done. I'm going to resume. As now you can see my frames per second is in my bottom left hand corner. This one doesn't actually have an overlay because it's a standalone. Frames per second did go down a little bit. Is a little bit scratchy. But then it went back up. So audio is a little bit garbly, but that's typical for this game. But as far as now our image on the screen, very clear. Now if we wanted to go ahead and bring this image even more, we're going to go ahead and take a pause. We're going to go to settings. We're going to go down to where it says rendering options. I'm going to drop that menu and go 1.5 times. We're going to go ahead and do done. Going to go ahead and resume. Actually brought my image up a little bit brighter up here to the. But as far as this image, great. Audio's a little rough. Now we're in battle. I'm running about 25-30 frames per second. But he is struggling with that big sword, but it is working. So that just gives you an example there of Swords of Berserk. We've got a few more to go. Takes a few seconds to exit out of that core. We've got PlayStation, so let's go ahead and take Tekken 3. Basically it should be the PSC React Armed core is our option. PCSX Rearmed, so we're going to go ahead and hit that as our default. We'll go ahead and hit high performance. We'll get Tekken 3 on PlayStation. Got your overlay here. Booted right up. We'll just go ahead and select a character.
Round 1. Fight.
Input seems to be okay. As far as me kicking, I'm just picking a character. There we go. Working really well. So we're going to go ahead and press menu and start. As you can see, I'm using the core PCSX Rearmed. So just kind of give you that example of the default of the core I would recommend. Go ahead and close out of the content. Got a couple more platforms we're going to hit. Let's go ahead and hit the Saturn, and then we'll hit the PSP. So for Saturn, I believe it has a standalone that's been updated. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and hit a pinball. We're going to do Last Gladiator's digital pinball. Let's go ahead and hit our menu. Go Advanced Game Options. So you can see the options are the Retro Arches Libretto Yabasinsharo core or the standalone. We're going to go ahead and do the standalone. And actually it looks like here you can render the resolution, so it's actually set at auto, but you could actually bring it up even bigger. We're not going to do anything with that at the moment. We're going to go ahead and boot it up. And as far as going through this testing, battery life has been pretty good. I think we've lost about 10% since we've started this whole project from. Audio is very clear. So if I press my menu and B key again, here we've got our submenu for the core. So it looks like here you can actually do, which I've seen on Spruce OS as well. Let's go ahead and get this game started. So there is ways to make changes in the emulator options. At this moment we're not going to do anything. We'll get further into it and I'll be able to share more, or as well you can do that. Image is looking good. Let's go with Gladiator. I would say the back is warming up a little bit. Usually when you're running Saturn, it'll... There we go.
You are about to die, salute you.
Sounds okay. Flippers are working just well. Seems like the input as well. Working well there. Let's hit that one more time. So, seems like hitting the flippers. Ball could be coming a little bit faster. But accuracy seems to be very well as far as the way the flippers are. We're going to go ahead and go to the sub menu. We'll go to exit. And our last one we're going to go into is we're going to try Star Ocean, first departure. And we're going to go to the PSP. So let's go ahead again to our options. Advanced Core. And obviously we're going to use the standalone PPSSPP, and we'll find out what option core or version we're using. So we're going to go with that. Of course we're going to hit high performance. And let's see what Star Ocean lies with us. So everything so far has been working really nice, and we haven't changed any of the lights or done any settings. Just a couple core changes to get games going. Alright, we haven't heard music, but no image. Pressing menu key. We're getting sound, but we're not seeing anything. That's interesting. There we go. Okay, so let's try that again, but we're going to hit a different game and we're just going to let it run and see what auto does. So we're going to go with Ridge Racer on PSP. Well, we saw loading. The lights couldn't get any greener. We're hearing games, but we're not seeing any image. So that is definitely something that has to be looked at. We'll have to further get back to that. Goodness. All right, well, again, that's a wrap. showing off the Knulli Scarab. First impressions, first review, and I've included the link as well, so you can go ahead and download it for your favorite device and see what you can discover on it. And thanks again from Beyond the Emulator for watching. Have a great day.